Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion, and we are back in Pigeon Forge, and this is a part 2 of this crime museum. This place is amazing, but there's just more than you can put in one video. So, Alcatraz East, we're back. Let's see the rest of it. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. There's Robert Kennedy campaign materials, because they're talking about the assassinations. And they have a death mask of Martin Luther King Jr., civil rights leader. This whole thing is the Kennedy assassination, so let's take a look through that. Lee Harvey Oswald's discharge papers. 1959, after serving 3 years. Dependency or hardship discharge, claiming he needed to take care of his disabled mother. Here's his change of address form. And that's a property receipt for Jack Ruby when he killed Oswald and they took him in. These are the items he had on him. Fort Hood shooter book pages. Oh yeah, that was horrible. Major Nadal Hassan opened fire at Fort Hood Military in Texas. I've been there. That's really sad. Fort Hood's actually where Elvis trained. Purpose of life, his manifesto. Here they're talking about unsolved mysteries and cold cases. They actually have mentioned Tupac, but we know there's some new developments in that. There's the Black Dahlia. And it says these are the articles of clothing that Natalie Holloway was wearing the night she disappeared. The clothing store Soka saved an exact duplicate of the skirt and flip-flops she was wearing for her mother for comparison in the event that evidentiary materials were discovered. And that Jorn Vandersloot guy also recently admitted to killing her. Of course, they're mentioning Tupac, like I said, and then JonBenet Ramsey. And then here they have a fake crime scene. They kind of show you how they do the investigation. They have all that stuff numbered, and then they have a little map over here that kind of describes what each thing is showing. And then this is all September 11th. That piece of the World Trade Center right there. All that rubble.
It was a beautiful sunny day when suddenly our world changed in a way we would never have imagined. We were shocked and angry that someone would do this to our country and to such a respected institution.
This is talking about Dr. Bass, the godfather of forensic anthropology, the modern way of discovering who may have done a crime. And they have a whole crime lab in here. You can experience how they match shoe impressions. It's an identification catalog. So if you look, you can see some of the features are covered. They use that to help come up with a crime sketch by showing just the eyes or just the mouth of someone. Same with that hair sample catalog back there. Autopsy instruments, bone cutting devices. Man, obviously so far we can see a gunshot victim. Somebody's cut off one of his toes. That looks like a gunshot. Strangulation probably. Here they're showing how they find fingerprints with UV light on like something like a gun like that. Here's the Warren report, the investigation, and the bullet shot from Jack Ruby's gun, 38 Colt Cobra, says. It's part of the 30th anniversary. 100 shots were fired from the gun the day that by Ruby's brother Earl. So it's not the one that killed Oswald, but when the gun was given back to the family, they fired 100 shots out of it. And then they have Marilyn Monroe's dress here because they say that she was rumored to have had an affair with the Kennedys. So that's pretty much all that's there for. And it says that this camera is the same model that Abraham Zapruder used to capture the footage of Kennedy being shot. This Zapruder film is one of the most studied pieces of film in American history. This is not the, it's just the same model. And they're talking about celebrity mugshots, and Johnny Cash is one of them. This is Johnny Cash's black shirt. Not the one from his mugshot photo, but just one of the ones that he would wear. Sinatra, Jim Morrison, Pee Wee Herman, Bill Gates. Nick Nolte's always a great one. They actually have a recreation of a courtroom and a judge's robe. That is the robe of the judge who presided over the Casey Anthony trial, Judge Belvin Perry Jr. That's his gavel from the trial. And these are Kaylee Anthony's belongings. It says that Winnie the Pooh blanket was found with her body. All right, now we're going into the prison system. Alcatraz officers, uniform pin, and Billy Club, and then the letters from the Birdman of Alcatraz. Robert Stroud. It says down there that is the Alcatraz riot gun and the Alcatraz prison camera. Right there, that would take all the prisoners' photos. There's some prisoners' dishes and belongings down there from a cell. And then there's artwork by John Wayne Gacy, including this Baseball Hall of Fame one. The truck was also hand-painted by Gacy. It says he paid $75 for the truck, made by a fellow prisoner. Said was a contract killer. Wrote that it would be a pure collector's item, as it would be the only hand-painted one by him. Oh, there we go. That's an owl made out of soap by a prisoner. Alcatraz prisoner art. We're talking about the closing of Alcatraz. Somebody drew that and that. And some Alcatraz handcuffs. Then that is Al Capone's rosary. Carried this rosary while incarcerated for tax evasion from 1932 till 1939, including the 5 years at Alcatraz. There's a piece of Alcatraz. It says that the Park Service started selling pieces of the rock. Here's Al Capone's jail cell. I believe this is when he was in Philadelphia incarcerated. Pretty posh. It was like the Hilton. I remember they said that. There's a guillotine. Tennessee's old electric chair, Old Smoky. And there's a gas chamber. God, this is horrifying. Here's a lethal injection machine. So here's our real honey pot here. All the vehicles. That is Ted Bundy's 1968 Volkswagen. The Beetle that he did all of that craziness in. It says there are 2 associated with the murders. One he owned in Utah and the one he stole in Florida. This is of course the one that he was arrested with, because they said after they finally caught him, the police basically took photos and just took this thing completely. They got every little bit of evidence they could, every photo, every angle, everything inside. That is crazy. This is still around. I guess not that crazy. The Manson family car is still around, so. That, it says, is the Bonnie and Clyde death car, but it's the one from the movie. So it's a 1934 V8 from the 1967 movie. The real one is usually in Prim, Nevada. Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty, they would have ridden around in this one. Crazy stuff. What a collection. It says this is John Dillinger's car. 1933 X6 Terraplane. It says that he purchased this at the Potthoff Brothers Motor Company in St. Paul, March of 1934. Escaped the police in this car, but he took a bullet to the leg in the meantime. And then this, of course, This is the famous O.J. Bronco. June 17th, 1994. News interrupted because O.J. was on the run. Actually, the Al Cowlings Bronco, but we know it because O.J. was being driven through Los Angeles freeways in this car. Like I said, he had one of these also, but this was Al Cowlings, and Al was the driver and O.J. was in the back seat, so we could see him right through that window. All those police helicopters were zooming in. Man, I remember that. I actually had a friend that basically had his life ruined because of this. He was trying to release some sort of like special, and he sunk all of his money into it, and it premiered this night, and everybody flipped off of it to watch the O.J. chase instead. He said he lost his house, he invested everything in that special. And there's one of O.J.'s actual playing helmets when he was on the Bills. He was acquitted, but I think everybody still thinks he was guilty to this day. That's a piece of the Bonnie and Clyde chimney from one of their hangouts. Then it says this radio was given to Ted Bundy by his mother Louise and kept by him until he was put on death row. Given that Ted is known to have stolen most of his belongings, this gift was clearly valuable to him because he kept it for so long. Still got the evidence tag on it. Oh, that's Kevin Costner's prop gun from The Untouchables. That's cool. And this is all stuff from Whitey Bulger's hangout. Scott Michaels actually knew somebody that had a bunch of like handwritten notes from Whitey Bulger, and he gave me one, so it's kind of interesting to see this stuff in here. That guy was on the lam forever before finally being caught in Santa Monica. There's his calendar. He was one of the most wanted men for many years. Here they've got tons of riot gear. And a bomb suit for the bomb squad. Wow. This section's all talking about fakes, counterfeits, manufacturing, buying fake items. Can you spot the fakes? That's kind of weird, but it's a tiger ball that they use for zoos, used for their elephants. It says that it was donated by Big Cat Rescue. Yeah, Big Cat Rescue is Carol Baskin. Here's a Gangs of New York costume from the movie. Dead Rabbit's uniform. And the leather handcuffs beside it. And this one says sports crimes, and that is O.J.'s golf bag. His golf clubs, I'm sure he's got tons of them, but then they're talking about, of course, Michael Vick torturing dogs. There's a dog electrocution device, it says right there. And then, of course, Aaron Hernandez. And those are wristbands from Fire Festival, if you saw those documentaries about that scam festival. More counterfeit handbags and jerseys and clothes, things confiscated by customs. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Thank you all for watching. Brian Barry, I hope you enjoyed these 2 videos for your sunglasses. I know you can get to see a lot of them, but they saw a lot of stuff, I promise you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great night, and goodbye.